it's Dutchy Dust coming to you from my little shed here in the Netherlands with another tutorial. Do you recognize the feeling that the power being transferred from your chain to your rear wheel feels a bit awkward? This could indicate that your rubber hub dampers are worn out and they need to be replaced. With this video I'm trying to show you that it's fairly easy to do this procedure yourself, and I'm going to use my 954RR Fireblade to show you. The procedure is quite generic, so I suppose you can use it with fairly any motorcycle. Furthermore, you might want to use the following tools. I use a Paddock stand since I don't have a center stand, a torque wrench which is able to go up to 130 Newton meters or 83 foot-pounds, an open spanner or ring spanner depending on the type of bike that you have, and I use a size 12 in a metric system. To make my work a bit easier, I use a wooden block to fill out the gap between the tire and the floor. And last is the tape measure to determine the chain tension when the wheel is being reassembled in the bike. So let's stop talking and go to work. First, we're going to dismantle the rear wheel, and therefore we need to loosen the shaft bolt. As I said, a torque wrench with, don't know if you can see it, size 32 in the metric system. So first loosen the shaft bolt. You can take it off completely. Then loosen the spanners, like this. Because of the chain tension, I always mark where it was approximately. On the other side you can do it too. So when you assemble the wheel, you approximately know where it was before you dismantled it. Same thing on this side. And now I take the wooden block and put it underneath, I hope you can see this, underneath the tire. So the gap is filled here, so it won't fall down when I take out the axle. So once you put the block under the tire, we can push the wheel a bit to the engine so that we can take off the chain like this. And just let it lean here in between the sprocket and the swing arm. Now we're going to take out the axle. So here it is. Here we got the axle. Note that the brake caliper of this bike is also loose. So just gently take it. Let it balance over here, and now you can take out the wheel like this. Okay, so we call this step 1. So now that we've taken off the rear wheel, we can take off the sprocket and its holder. If you know the correct English term for this part, please let me know in the comments. Normally you can take this off quite easily, but I need a nylon or rubber hammer, and once I have taken this off, I will show you why I need it. You probably won't be needing this. Yeah. Okay. This is a universal tool, it works with everything. Take it out. And this is what they call the hub dampers. They are from rubber, and in my case they are worn out. So we're going to replace them. This is why I needed the rubber hammer. Since in the past I already noticed that they are started to worn, I use this as a sort of solution in between. It's just a piece of an inner tube, which I folded around here and placed the damper over there. But because of the inner tube, the space available for this here gets more narrow, so therefore it was a bit tight. But enough of this, because probably no one who's watching this has ever done this before. So, I mean, placing inner tube in here. So let's take these things off. Like this. Then we take the new dampers. As you can see, it's a genuine of original Honda part. Perhaps you can notice the number like this. And as you can see here, it's all a bit more than 60 euros that I paid for these dampers. There's only one way these things fit. Now we take the sprocket holder. It doesn't matter. It always fits. There's no. It makes any difference. It doesn't make any difference if you place it like this or this. Just make sure that it fits in between the dampers. So, before reassembling the wheel is always a good opportunity to clean it up. This is the best chance you will get. Grease some parts before you replace it. So that's what we're first going to do. I put some grease on this too, so it works like a glue and it won't fall out when I reassemble the wheel. Do the same for this here. So this was step 2. So once you've cleaned up the wheel and all the parts, we can start reassemble the rear wheel. It's the reversed procedure of step 1. So first, get the wheel in between the swing arm, like this. In my case, I have to place the brake caliper first. And as you can see here, perhaps, is that this part here, my arm's in front of it, this part here has to go in between the rail on the swing arm. Like this. Make sure that these rings stay there. You have one here too. There has to be enough clearance to get in between there. Then you can put the chain over the sprocket again. Yes, like this. Here I have the axle. I already greased it, as you can see. In my case, it's important that it fits like this. Put it in here. I can feel it's in the wheel. Give it a little push. Yeah, as you can see, the axle is true. Place back the parts in the way, in the order that you took them out. Put the bolt back on. I take the torque wrench. As I told you in step 1, I have to tighten it with 113 Newton meters. I believe I said 83 foot-pounds, like this. I'm going to give it a few turns, just a few, like that. I'm getting on my knees here. I have these markings here on the swing arm, so I know approximately where to go. I should advise you to do this a quarter of a turn or half a turn, so you can set the wheel equally. But since I have these markings, I do it a bit different. In order to measure the right chain tension, what you can do is you can pull the chain up to its highest point and let it go, and then you have the upper and the lower measurement, and in my case it should be around 4 to 5 centimeters. Once you have the right tension, you can lock this nut up here like this. Put one up here. Do the same thing on the other side. Like this. So, and once the chain tension is correct, make sure you tighten up the shaft bolt to its right torque. You will hear a click when you're there. Click. That's enough. Make sure you get the pressure of your torque wrench. So once you've done that, you can take out the wooden block and see how it turns. Well, this seems okay. So, and the job is finished. So, that's how you do it. The video is perhaps a bit long for just changing the dampers, but as you have seen in the video, it's also about the wheel change, and I've tried to make the video in that way so that every step is thoroughly described. So if you haven't done it before, or if your knowledge of motorcycles is not that big, you should also be able to do this yourself. So thanks for your patience and for watching the video. If you have any tips, put them in the comments below. And I have one tip for you. When you take your bike for the first ride and you get home, please check the chain tension again if it's still correct. So once again, thanks for watching, and you'll be seeing me next time.